Welcome to today's Explainer. It's July 10, 2026, and we are looking at a massive, absolutely immense meteorological event that has just completely engulfed the Indian subcontinent. We're talking about the southwest monsoon, which has just finished its advance across the entire country. And man, it has brought with it a devastatingly active phase. The sheer scale of this weather system is literally reshaping daily life, from the highest mountain peaks all the way down to the most crowded urban plains. So we're going to break down exactly what's happening right now, where these impacts are hitting the absolute hardest, and how the country is scrambling to respond.
But first, we really have to start with the immediate human toll, because the sudden shock of this nationwide advance has been severe. In just a 24-hour window leading up to today, over 10 people have tragically lost their lives in rain-related incidents all across the country. It's a sobering, harsh reminder of the sheer power of these weather systems, and exactly why understanding these patterns is absolutely crucial for our safety.
So here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We're covering nationwide monsoon havoc, cities underwater, mountain states on alert, the disrupted Char Dham pilgrimage, and finally, forecasts and future solutions. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, Nationwide Monsoon Havoc. So the big meteorological headline today is that the southwest monsoon has officially completed its advance. But, it didn't just drift in gently. It slammed in with an incredibly active and devastating phase. We aren't just talking about scattered showers here. This complete advance triggered an immediate, nationwide crisis. We're seeing widespread flooding, extremely dangerous landslides, and the emergency closure of schools across multiple states. It's essentially a highly synchronized weather event hitting a massive geography, all at the exact same time. And this devastation stretches all the way from the western coast right down to the southern tip. Like we mentioned, there are over 10 deaths confirmed in just a single day nationwide. But looking a bit closer at specific regions, Gujarat Surat district alone has reported 17 rain-related deaths over the past few days. And then way down in Kerala, persistent rain in Wayanad triggered a landslide that killed 6 people, with rescue teams even using sniffer dogs still out there searching for 2 individuals who are missing. The geographical spread of this emergency is just staggering.
Moving on to Section 2, Cities Underwater.
Just wrap your head around this number for a second. 358 millimeters. That is the amount of rainfall recorded in Surat within just a 24-hour period. To put that into perspective, that single day of rain, combined with the rest of the week's downpours, means Surat received nearly 30% of their entire season's total rainfall in a single week. You can imagine the sheer volume of water that urban drainage systems suddenly had to process. It's totally overwhelming.
So what does a deluge like that actually look like on the ground? Well, the urban fallout is paralyzing. In Surat, emergency teams like the NDRF and SDRF had to step in and rescue 3,600 people, shifting over 4,100 to relief centers. Up in the capital, Delhi, over 160 millimeters of rain caused severe waterlogging, uprooted trees, and completely paralyzed traffic. Meanwhile, over in Uttar Pradesh, officials in Prayagraj are having to intensify their flood preparedness as continuous rain pushes river levels dangerously close to critical danger marks. It's a massive real-time test of our urban resilience.
That brings us to Section 3, Mountain States on Alert.
Now, the sheer force of mountain rain creates a totally unique and perilous set of hazards. In Uttarakhand, rivers like the Alaknanda and Mandakini are violently swelling in spate, forcing authorities in districts like Rudraprayag to shut down schools immediately. And at the same time, look at the crumbling infrastructure over in Himachal Pradesh. The State Disaster Management Authority reported 75 roads completely blocked, 29 power transformers knocked offline, and water supply schemes heavily disrupted. The mountains literally shift and break apart under this much water.
But human behavior can be pretty wild, right? Paradoxically, tourists are still flocking to Shimla. Despite the 75 blocked roads and those severe weather warnings, the post-rain scenery, the mist-covered hills and lush valleys, has transformed the capital city into a massive attraction. Visitors from Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi are actually showing up in significant numbers, telling reporters they feel perfectly safe exploring the hill station. It's a really fascinating disconnect between official emergency alerts and everyday tourist behavior.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Char Dham pilgrimage disrupted.
For these pilgrims, the journey has been physically severed. The direct cause? Extreme geological instability. A massive landslide in Nalupani in Uttarkashi district literally blocked the Gangotri Highway, bringing all pilgrim traffic to an absolute complete standstill. Road clearing teams are out there working overtime, but honestly, when the mountainside gives way like that, everything simply stops. And it's crucial to see how this physical disruption translates into the hard data. Just look at the massive drop between July 1st and July 7th. Across the board, arrivals have absolutely plummeted. But look specifically at Kedarnath at the top there, because getting to Kedarnath involves a highly strenuous trek that is incredibly vulnerable to bad weather. It suffered a staggering 74.8% plunge in a single week, dropping from over 6,500 daily arrivals to just 1,600. Even a highly accessible spot like Badrinath saw a near 60% drop. This data perfectly visualizes the monsoon's incredible halting power. However, it's vital to note the wider context here. Despite that massive 54% overall weekly drop we just looked at, the Char Dham Yatra has been incredibly resilient this year. Before this active monsoon phase hit, the pilgrimage had actually already seen a record-breaking 43.57 lakh total pilgrims since April. The government largely credits better infrastructure and travel facilities for this historic turnout right before the rain showed up.
Finally, Section 5. Forecasts and Future Solutions.
To really grasp the ongoing response, we need to understand the India Meteorological Department's alert system. A yellow alert for places like Delhi and parts of Himachal Pradesh means authorities are on watch for light to moderate rain, thunderstorms, and localized flash floods. Pretty standard stuff. But a red alert for western Uttar Pradesh, that is the highest possible level of warning, predicting extremely heavy rain. It's so severe that authorities completely closed schools across 9 different districts, including Ghaziabad and Meerut, purely as a precaution.
So what exactly is the engine driving all these alerts? It's a low-pressure area. Essentially, this is a region where atmospheric pressure is just lower than the surrounding locations. Right now, there is a well-marked low-pressure area hovering over central and southwest Uttar Pradesh. This meteorological engine is literally acting like a giant vacuum, pulling in moisture and driving this intense, widespread rainfall across the region. And that is exactly why this wet spell is far from over.
Knowing all of this is our current reality, how is leadership responding financially? Well, here is a massive figure to take note of: 500 crore rupees. After touring the receding floodwaters in Surat, Gujarat's chief minister, Bhupendra Patel, announced this huge budget allocation specifically for a creek development and deepening project in the city. And this quote really hits the nail on the head regarding the strategic shift we are starting to see. The chief minister directed officials to prepare a long-term solution to recurring flooding caused by nearby creeks. What we're seeing here is a necessary evolution, right? Governments are realizing they can't just rely on reactive rescues anymore, just sending out NDRF boats after the fact. They have to shift focus toward long-term, proactive, preventative infrastructure planning. Deepening those creeks with that 500 crore budget is a direct attempt to fix the root vulnerability.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly vital question to ponder. As these incredibly active, extreme monsoons become our new normal, how fast can our cities and mountains adapt to survive the next deluge? The data and the events of July 2026 show us exactly what we're up against. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. I really hope this structured look helped you understand the profound impact of this monsoon season. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.